Hi, everybody. Let me tell you something very important. Something so important, I'm going to call it one of the most important political messages you're ever going to hear in your life. And I'm so serious about it. The message is very simple in itself, it's very easy to understand. The message is you are not an onlooker, you are an actor. It is simple, but it is revolutionary, believe me. Because we have been taught all our lives, we have been indoctrinated into believing that our role in this political reality that we live in, is to just look at things and say what we feel about them. How terrible it is, how sad we are, how horrible, how shocked, how outraged. But this is all we can do. Facing reality, we were taught we are hopeless and we are helpless. And this totally tragically mistaken point of view that so many of us internalized is so prominent during this genocide. For so many, for so many people, when they are seeing what's going on, this huge event with so many small quote unquote tragedies happening every day, they are escaping or retreating into this role of just being onlookers. And I'm here today to tell you that this is not your role in this. This is not our role in this. Our role in this is completely different. And I'm going to use a very specific example. Yesterday, the US told Israel in a letter it made public, it made sure to make public. It told Israel, listen, Israel, what you're doing in Gaza is so inhumane, it is so criminal, it is so sadistic that we are telling you, if you don't stop doing this, we are not going to be able to arm you anymore. And this is a huge deal. If you understand things correctly, and I'm going to explain in a second exactly what I mean, this is a huge deal. But the reaction from so many people online, so many accounts I saw, was so underwhelmed. It was a reaction of disbelief, of it's not going to make any difference. The US is not going to, they don't mean it. They're not going to follow through. They are trying to deceive us, which is all potentially true. And it's definitely true to an extent, but it doesn't matter because this is not the war we're fighting. Our role is not to say how bad the US is, or how bad Israel is, or how bad Anthony Blinken is, or Netanyahu is. This is not our role in this. We are fighting a cultural war. We are fighting a war of stories and narrative, and this is a war we have to win. And this is our role. We are not just onlookers, we are actors. We have to comment and respond and react to reality in a way that reflects, we understand this is our world. This is our reality. We are active in it. We demand ownership. This is ours, and we are going to win. And this needs to be reflected in everything we say about the situation, about anything that happens. So when the US tells Israel, listen, you are acting so insanely, so cruelly, so terribly, we're going to stop arming you. We need to take this and exploit and amplify it and use it as a weapon to bolster our side. We need to make our point clearly. Because this is not about what the US really means, or whether they're going to make it follow through or not. This is how we present our side more and more persuasively, more powerfully. We should be showing this to the whole world and telling them, do you see? Even the US, so controlled, as we all know, by Zionist ideologies and actors. Even the US is now telling Israel, listen, what you're doing is so terrible, we can't support it anymore. We're going to stop arming you. This is what we should be saying. We should be celebrating this. We should be making a huge point of this. But instead, people are thinking from this perspective of helplessness and hopelessness. No, they're not serious. They don't mean it. They're trying to fool Democrat voters. And this may be true, but this is not what we should be focused on. This is gossip. This is irrelevant. This is irrelevant for the narrative war that we gotta win. And listen, they have organizations and huge budgets and countries and whatever. But we have something that is much stronger and much bigger, and we gotta believe it. We have humanity on our side and we have justice on our side. This is how I know we are gonna win. This is how I know we're gonna win. I'm not fantasizing, I'm not guessing. It is impossible for them to win, no matter how much money and warships and organization and censorship they can use. It's not gonna help. It's not gonna help. It's gonna be to no avail. It's not gonna help them. You cannot subjugate the entirety of humanity. You can't. No power ever managed to do it. No power is gonna ever succeed in doing this. It is impossible. You can't do it. So when I'm going online every day, I'm going to war in this sense. I'm not sharing. I share my emotions. It is an important part of going through this together and having to cope together and having a sense of community. But politically, this is not the main thing. Politically, what we got to do is to win the story every day, to use everything, every detail, every information, every story, every news. And when we talk about how bad they are, it's not because we specialize in analyzing characters. It's because we want our side to win. Our side, the side of justice and humanity, which is now the side of Palestine. And if Palestinians had this attitude of thinking they can't change anything, and how can they win this monstrous opponent that they have, Palestine would have been disappeared and gone 3 generations ago. But this is not what they do. They go to war every day, and I don't mean war of violence. I mean working, operating, living, knowing that you're going to somehow overcome this. You're going to somehow overcome this, knowing this, believing in this. So, this attitude of passivity, of helplessness, of hopelessness, don't do it. Don't agree to be what they want you to be. Don't accept the perspective they want you to have. This is what they want you to have. Don't agree. This is not your gaze. This is not your eyes. It is theirs. You need to talk about reality like you own it. You need to talk about justice like you own it and you know it's on your side. So know it's on your side. This is why we do this. We are not doing this to just express our views and feelings and of how terrible it is. This means nothing, and politically, this is even detrimental. Because when we start to believe this is our role, and this is what we do, and this is what teach each other to do, we are missing the whole point. We are missing the whole point. We are in this to win the war of the story, of the narrative, of culture. This is what we got to do. And to do this, we got to fight. So fight.